So what's the houseboat story? So, okay, Desert Bus 8 was at a local high-tech startup incubator called Fort Tectoria, run by Viatech. It's the Vancouver Island tech sort of advocacy group, essentially. And they said, yeah, you can use this space for it. You can do all the Desert Bus in this space for the week. You have use of all this area. And we're like, great, we'll do it. And we started setting up, and they're like, oh, by the way, there's going to be we're going to be having this like sort of Viatech like fundraising party in the next room on one of those nights. We were like, what? You're going to do what? Yeah, on the other side of these glass doors. And we're like, oh, okay. And so, we'd been trying to keep the noise down, and then it got to a certain point where we were like, you know what, F it. And we took, I believe we had the phone camera. Yeah. Johnny, did we have we had the mobile camera. Mm-hmm. And we ran a conga line out of our space through their party and back in. And then a couple folks who were actually MLAs, which is members of the Legislative Assembly of our provincial government, were like, what's going on in this thread? And they came back into the room and found out sort of what we were doing, and the people from Viatech were like, introduced us, and they were like, oh, this, they're doing this is all live, they're raising this money, they're doing all of this, and they were like, oh, that's pretty cool. Hey, when I'm not doing a tech thing, I run a houseboat rental company. Why don't we auction a houseboat rental off? And we were like, okay, let's write all that down. Yeah. And
let's check with our prize coordinator.
Yeah, there's some gifts of it happening there, and it just sort of it all happened so fast.
DB8 was wild for surprise auctions in general.
Yeah,
because that was also when Penn did like the, hey, here's this vacation we're
the trip to the Rio.
Let's add to another one.
There we are at DB8, and that's me and the two people that were referred to as the suits.
Yeah. That was my favorite part, was them coming into the room and Kathleen just yelling, "Suits!"
Somebody in the chat pointed out.
By the cops.
Somebody in the chat pointed out that one of them is Andrew Wilkinson, who's now the leader of the BC Liberal Party.
Yeah, the guy in the black suit.
Yeah.
So, ups and downs. Yeah. But it was the other guy that was auctioning off the houseboat rental.
Yeah.
Who then also, they invited Kathleen and I to the legislature to, formally enter on the record. You can look it up in Hansard if you really want to read it, but formally entered a thing. We were officially recognized on the floor of the legislature as they recognized Desert Bus as a thing that is done locally that is good and was very nice. And they were during their normal business. We got to hear a lot of deeply uninteresting stuff before they got to that. And it was oh wow, this is a whole lot of legislation. So yeah, and that's how Graham and Kathleen are in the Hansard. So there we go. It was a whole thing. The best part was Graham coming in mid going to the store looking like he just sprinted back in. I probably did. Yeah. I was probably like, what's happening? Excuse me? Liliana went for $5,005. Pretty great.
I think one of the other important parts of the story is the reference to the houseboat is it was a $5,000 auction. So that's...
Thank you.
There we go.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Because someone talked about Penn and Teller and the houseboat thing. So that was later in the same Desert Bus that they were doing basically a sort of a Vegas experience that you come to Las Vegas, you stay at the Rio, you hang out. I think you hang out with Penn's wife for do a thing.
They went to play golf.
Yeah, go to dinner. It was a whole thing. Omega Laron actually, I believe, won that, or won one of them, or won the houseboat. I actually don't remember. I know Omega Laron was involved in something. And that was the thing where it got so high and people were bidding so aggressively that Penn was like, all right. what if both of you pay the high amount and we say you both win it? And both high bidders were like, great. And so
Yeah.
Desert Bus raised twice as much money. So
Yeah.
Omega Laron. Yeah, we went to a driving range.
yeah,
Nice.
sounds like fun. So